welcome back to our season review, our greatest season in over a century. Jamie's still under contract at TalkSport, but he'll be back for the new season. He's just on gardening leave at the moment, and Joe's off on his travels. So we've got a special guest today, a man I'm told is the only person alive to be at every single game for Benfleet this season. Who better to join me for this great season than Chairman Dan Wright? How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks, mate. Thanks for having me again. How are you?
Yeah, very, very well. What a goal from Taylor Lawrence.
It's a great goal, isn't it? This ain't bad from Cameron Harris either, to be fair.
That was a good goal. I think Joe referred to that one as the old lefty lobby from Taylor Lawrence, if I remember rightly. But coming up, every goal and every game from our title-winning season. And this is August, Dan.
We got off to a slow start, to be fair. We had our first two games postponed on the day, which wasn't really ideal. But when we did get to play, won our first game against Dunmo, 1-0.
That's it. And on the day as well, that is just so non-league. It's an absolute killer, isn't it?
It is. I mean, even by non-league standard, it was quite poor, to be fair. Like the first game we turned up, there were no lines marked out. Literally, I mean, you couldn't write that, could you?
No,
what a goal from 40 there.
You had no lines. You couldn't write anything. You had no paint. That's crazy. I was going to say, was it waterlogged in August? But clearly not.
Just no lines on the pitch.
No lines. And we had two games in, 4 days. One on the 5th, one on the 9th. Won the first one 1-0 against Dunmo, as you said. Second one 2-0 away to Basildon. Last season's semi-finalists in the playoff as well, weren't they, Basildon?
They were.
Yeah. And then, despite that beautiful sunset, Alex Salmon's boys slipped to a 2-0 home defeat at Southend Manor as well. Wasn't expected, this defeat as well, I don't think.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Southend Manor had a difficult season, really, in the end. That they finished just outside the relegation zone. Could have probably done a bit better here.
Yeah, I mean, Flo did save this penalty, if you remember, Dan. It was a solid save as well.
It was a good save.
He's just been a great servant for the club, and Flo.
He's absolutely fantastic. He's so reliable.
Yeah. Did he take the 1 year contract extension? Or?
He did indeed.
Get in there. And then another good win against Barkingside to finish off the month. And that was August. And as you can see, this is September. If you couldn't see it, we made it massive for you. And it started off disappointing, to be fair. A trip to Enfield Borough. It was fortunate, really, wasn't we, Dan, in the end? Yeah,
I think we probably were fortunate to come away with a point. This is a good goal, to be fair, but yeah, we were quite fortunate to get a point in the end. Enfield were one of them tricky teams, really, when you never quite know what Enfield you're going to get. And we followed it up another draw at home to Burnham, who actually finished bottom of the league in the end.
Did they really? Bottom as well? Of course they did, yeah. Yeah, so that's 2 draws in the first 2 games in September. I remember this, that keeper's car.
Not good, was it? Not good. One of the things that really changed under Lee, to be fair, was the consistency, I would say. Particularly against sort of some of the teams a bit lower down the table. We won pretty much every game we played against anyone outside the top sort of 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Stop sort of dropping them silly points.
Yeah, I mean, not even that. I think we were keeping clean sheets as well a lot, weren't we, against those teams. I mean, this was, as you said, Alex Salmon, didn't stay the whole season. This actually turned out to be Alex's last game. So he went out on a high. It was a great win against Parkview.
He did. He actually played in this game as well.
He came on.
He did.
Player manager, the old Gianluca Vialli.
Jimba Vialli.
Who was the other one?
There were a few, weren't there? Rudelit.
That was it. That's us sitting 10th in September. I mean, kind of where we was. What do you reckon? Where we was expected? I mean, we know what a great season we had, Dan. But I mean, I suppose playoffs is always what you want.
Playoffs is always the aim. I think mid-table is, if you was to look at it objectively and say, we got no budget, we're a sort of smallish club. Mid-table is probably where you put us.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the sort of strength of the squad, you'd probably say, yeah, we could be sort of pushing on for playoffs.
As well as what's going on behind the scenes as well, you're kind of pushing to move up those leagues by getting that, that sort of stand in and getting your own ground instead of renting from Canby. So I suppose you're right there, yeah, with the strength of the squad and what's going on. I think mid-table is not really where you want to be, is it really?
I dare say we wouldn't mind mid-table next season, to be honest.
Yeah, it's as they all are at this level. Every step is a big step up. But as you say, you've got a squad, and a lot of them are staying together for next year, aren't they? So
they are. Yeah. As far as I know, we've kept our whole squad for next season, pretty much.
Got a great spine as well. That game there was 3-2, Lee's first game of the. Of just a great reign, really, and this second game with a hard-fought 0-0 draw as well. That Hutton are a good side this year.
It was a good result, really good result. Hutton are a really good side. We had a lot of players missing for that one as well. Played a really sort of defensive game and held really well. To be fair, really good 0-0 draw that was.
I think that was the first time we saw the Lee sort of park the bus.
It was
Mourinho.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that sort of defensive organisation that has almost sort of become a real sort of feature of our play all season long. That sort of tightness at the back. Yeah. And the sort of players in behind that protect the back line. Been a real good defensive performance all season long. To be fair,
and we carried it on for another clean sheet, 6-0, and Taylor Lawrence halfway line goal was outrageous. Probably one of the only ones we're going to replay in this season review. Look at that, even slipped, Dan.
I think Taylor will probably get a few replays as the video goes on, won't he?
He's definitely the editor.
The craziest thing is that's not even close to his best goal of the season, probably that one.
Really weren't, actually. It wasn't. Some of the free kicks he scored were outrageous as well, as they always are. And then followed with another 6-0 win. So 12 goals scored, 2 games, none conceded. It's when we started seeing Lee really settling in, really, wasn't it, Dan?
It was, yeah. Play became a lot more fluid. And the system that he was sort of trying to implement just started to get going, really. And obviously kept going all season, as we know.
It just didn't stop, did it? Didn't stop. But that's, as I say, 6. Great goal. That's another great header. Is that the big... That is the big Cameron Harris, is it? Or is that my eyesight?
I think that was Sonny Hartman, that one. I think. I should know because I was at the game. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Sonny Hartman.
He was at the game. He was at every game this year, but...
Was?
My eyes ain't what they used to be, mate.
It's a good performance in it, 6-0. 6-0 away win. I mean, Southend Manor had come down from the Essex Senior League the season before, but this is a massive one, this Harlow game. I think this was probably the first time that it actually sort of occurred to me that we might do a little bit better than maybe even the playoffs.
Yeah.
This game. We really deserved to win the game. We played fantastically. We did all the stuff that we've been talking about, the sort of forward play, the defensive play, I think we deserved to beat them, and it was a brilliant result. I mean, you got to think Harlow were playing step 4 the season before, came down, kept a lot of their players, still had big crowds coming in. Really, really, really good result that was.
Yeah.
Really
no, it really was. It really was.
Followed up by a 93rd minute winner.
North West London, yeah, and that was Grant Francis as well, who popped up a few times this season. Scored some...
really good player, Grant.
Yeah,
this was a frustrating one, this one.
Yeah, it's his first defeat, wasn't it, Lee? But
it was, and I think what was so frustrating was for the first sort of hour or so, we just couldn't really get going. It was a bit different from the sort of previous games that we played under Lee, and then we found our form again and got back into it with this fantastic goal from Toby Dickinson. Managed to then follow up and get an equaliser, as you'll see in a second, and then sort of kept pushing for the winner. And I was watching the game thinking, we're going to go on and win this. It was pretty much all us from the point that we went 2-1. and then we give away a really, really sloppy goal right at the end, which was so out of character of us all season, really. But you know, it's going to happen, isn't it, from time to time? But yeah, this was an unfortunate one. This one.
But again, you look back on it, and it's a test, isn't it? After this game, how do you handle that first defeat? You know, and I think that's what we see all season, really. That sort of, I mean, bounce back ability, as Ian Dowie quite rightly put that in the dictionary.
It is in the dictionary. It was another feature of our season, really, was the way that we bounced back so convincingly. I mean,
and this is it, 6-0 against Dunmo.
Who were top of the table at the time. You know, this was a really big game for us. You wouldn't know it looking at the scoreline, but this was a really big game for us. And we hit them for 6. And it was a feature pretty much all season long. If you look at our games, the games that we did lose, which were obviously quite sort of few and far between, we followed them up with a victory every single time. We lost 5 games, and every single game after we lost, we won.
And if I remember right, I might be wrong, but was it like a run of victories as well? It wasn't just the odd one and then a loss, 2 losses, and
yeah.
We just sort of got that momentum, and also it's hard, you know, that Dunmo game, top of the league, right? When you're away in them 3G pitches, you know, a team like Dunmo are used to playing on those 3G pitches. So even that, you know, to just smash top of the league at their ground on a pitch that's always difficult to play against.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. This was the opposite, this one, by the way.
Clapton. As well, but that was a great goal by their striker.
Brilliant goal.
Yeah.
This one...
I still picture that sometimes when I close my eyes.
It's a fantastic goal.
It was a great finish, yeah. He's a great player, though, and he's scored loads of goals for that club.
Yeah, really good. They're a great club, to be fair. Really, really, you know, really well-run club. I mean, this is a bit offside, as you'll see.
I remember this.
Just sort of 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, well off. Look at that. And there's no one off camera there. Like, as you can see, as the camera pans out, there is no left back keeping him on. That was a bit...
He's miles off.
It's terrible. Look at that lino, look. He ain't got a clue.
But it happens, doesn't it? We got a few decisions. We had a few go against us. To be fair, Clapton, I actually really enjoyed this game in spite of the fact we lost, because it's a great place to go, actually.
Yeah.
It's what non-league football's all about, grounds like this.
Yeah, what do they have like on the regular? They've got like, how many do they have sort of?
I mean, they get 500 plus easily. Yeah, I think if they would have had a home playoff draw, I think they'd have got well over 1,000. And we follow it up, beating Wormley.
Of course.
And this was, I mean, what a game this was. You referenced the sort of Jose Mourinho style tactics earlier. This is classic. We got battered for pretty much 90 minutes. We managed to bag an early goal, defended absolutely superbly for 90 minutes, and then hit them on the counter attack. I think Lee told you, didn't he, when you interviewed him, that was the sort of moment of the season, that second goal, and it really was. Yeah,
I was just about to say that. He mentioned that was, you know, not one that many would look back on as their favourite, but just the way they held out for 1-0, 1-0, then got that free kick, and you know, it was it was a great. And then again, look, 3-2, May and Baker, another tough game.
Yeah, really tough game
as well. And they equalised as well, didn't they?
This game, in some ways, this game sort of summarises our season better than any other, because at this point we're about 92 minutes in. This guy equalises with an absolute belter. So you think we've just dropped 2 points in the last minute.
Yeah.
We kick off, and as you'll see, we go straight out the other end and score a winner. You know, and
we had to do that at that point. There's literally seconds left, so the only option is to punt it upfield.
That's it, and we go and get a winner. You know, which we did time and time again.
Yeah.
We last-minute winners all season long. You know, we must have got 6 or 7 of them as the season went on, and that's not a coincidence.
No, it's relentless. It's the relentlessness, isn't it? It's what City do. It's what the best teams do.
It's what United used to do under Fergie for years and years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
It's that sort of mentality that says we don't give up, we keep going. It's the team spirit that, you know, where everyone pulls together and believes that you're going to get that winner. And it's the discipline as well to keep going and not get sloppy, not sort of give away last-minute goals, which, you know, in the past we have, you know, in sort of seasons gone by. I think last season was almost the opposite, to be fair. Last season we gave away loads of last-minute winners. But, you know, this season here, Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
And this was a fantastic result. 4-0 away at Hackney, convincing. Look at this goal from 40. Look at that. Like Shearer.
yeah, that was Shearer of Newcastle, wasn't it? Back in the old Newcastle Shearer days. And that was the game before that, 2-0 as well. Away to Clapton, not FC, not to be confused with Community. But yeah, another clean sheet and then another clean sheet, 4-0. Midway through December, just creeping up the table, weren't we, at that point? I think the table previously showed sort of we're sitting at 6th, and then we've sort of won 3 games since then. So,
Right.
I think this is when we really started getting taken seriously, really, by the league, I think.
It was. And talking about decisions that went our way, I mean, this was a real tough one. This was Cannons Wood, a really good side. Another one where we were missing a lot of players set up to be quite defensive, ground out a 0-0 draw. I mean, you tell me why this goal was disallowed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure anyone knew, to be honest with you. Quite hard done by Cannons Wood, probably, but
yeah.
As I say,
I'm looking everywhere. There's nothing. No players are even protesting.
No, I think the ref was a big Benfleet fan.
There's 2 people who's been to every Benfleet game this season, and it's them, right, and it's the ref. So yeah, we ended up this ending the year 3rd, didn't we? And as I say, that was when I think other clubs were looking over their shoulder, thinking, you know what, these are on a good run, and when we play them, they're not a pushover.
That's right. Yeah, because although we were 3rd, we had games in hand. I mean, from pretty much November, we'd got ourselves into a position where we had games in hand to go top. We'd been there before. I think 2 years earlier under Rob Polkinghorne, we were in a similar position where we had games in hand. And when we got to this sort of January, February period, which is always a difficult period because you have a lot of games called off. This is another last-minute winner, this one, by the way.
Yeah.
You have a lot of games called off. It's hard to sort of keep the momentum going. And we fell away 2 years ago. And we ended up finishing 3rd, made the playoff semi-final. This year we didn't. Obviously, this year we carried on going. We got right back into our groove after Christmas. We still had games called off, but you know, again, that sort of team spirit, that discipline, that organisation really showed.
Yeah, it did. And then that was away to Tower Hamlets, and then this one, which I remember being a bitter night as well. Coldest night on record, I think, 17th of Jan.
I feel like we should watch this goal, because it is unbelievable from Taylor Lawrence. But yeah, to come back to your point, we all still talk about it, funnily enough. Those of us that were there.
How cold the night was.
How cold the night was. It was. I don't think I've ever been that cold in my life. It was like you were just sort of sitting in a freezer. It was so cold. But you know, we won convincingly again away from home. Flo obviously wouldn't have been happy to have conceded a couple. He was enjoying getting a few clean sheets, I think.
Yeah.
Well, more than a few, to be fair. I think we were actually in the top 5 for clean sheets across the entire non-league system last year.
Oh, really? How many clean sheets was it then in the end?
I don't know. I should know.
I don't know. I thought you might have known.
I should know. And Flo will give me a hard time for not knowing, to be fair. But yeah. Well, I think we were 4th or 5th across the entire non-league system for clean sheets. Really, really, really good defensive season.
Yeah, really
good attacking season. A good everything season, really.
Yeah, all round, and hit another 6 past Enfield. That's what 3 games so far that we've scored 6.
Probably more.
Look at that unlikely weldy from the big Cameron Harris as well. Did you see that?
Brilliant goal. Taylor Lawrence penalty.
Of course, still never missed.
Still never misses.
In his whole career as well, even kids football, wasn't it? Just never missed a penalty.
We missed a penalty.
Yeah. Probably not even in training. Who knows? As I've said before, he could literally put it 10 yards wide and still score. Just the best penalty taker I've ever seen. And Yeah, this was goals, 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 wasn't it? This one we started this February with a trip to Mate and Baker, and we never beat them away.
No,
And went 2-0 down, so it kind of looked like from the off, same old, same old.
it did. It did. Yeah, it's an awful ground for us, this one at Aveley. It's a lovely ground, but just one that we always really, really, for some reason, struggle to come away with anything. And like you say, we went 2-0 down, so you're thinking, oh, here we go again. But as we've said throughout the video, it's a completely different bunch. And brilliant equaliser from Taylor Lawrence. We keep going. Managed to go 3-2 up. Yeah, man, get another one.
Great assist
for the win.
Taylor for the third. So that was then 3-3, right? And then
so it's 4-2 at this point. And May and Baker get a consolation penalty, and then get a man sent off for an absolutely atrocious challenge, which I don't think we're going to show in the video. This was massive. This is Hutton again. We talked earlier about what a strong side Hutton were all long. This was a huge game for us, and we were brilliant. We deserved to win.
This was one of the very few games that I was actually present.
You were?
Yes, and that's not by choice. Everyone. I do live 200 miles away from that ground, so 400 round trip. But yeah, I've been to a couple of games. This was one of them.
What a second.
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah, that was it. Harlow still top. They were just sort of running away with it, weren't they, all season, and quite rightly so.
Oh, this was
their budget.
This was absolutely excruciating, this game. It was, it was an off night, to be fair. Yeah. I mean, Wormley are an absolutely outstanding side. I mean, they obviously went up through the playoffs, finished second. They were unlucky not to win the league, to be honest. I think they probably would have won the league in previous seasons gone by. We just...
They had the same amount of games in hand as well, didn't they? Like,
yeah.
We had a lot of games in hand, and they were the team in the end that we were, kind of looking over our shoulders, really. But again, correct me if I'm wrong, but the bounce back ability, again, 5-0 Clapton, after, just really showed, especially after that defeat, because I think that was closing the games in hand. It's a big defeat from Wormley. It was a big 6-pointer. Because everyone was looking at it thinking, well, this Benfleet run's going to end. They can't keep this up forever. They can't. So that looked like the start of a potential downfall. But to bounce back at 5-0 was ridiculous.
That's it, isn't it? Like you say, we didn't just bounce back with sort of grinding out a 1-0. We bounced back and look at this, Taylor Lawrence. Wow. We bounced back consistently.
That's ridiculous.
Comprehensively 5-0. Look at that. What a goal that is.
Yeah, the old lefty lobby, wasn't it, from Taylor Lawrence?
And into March. We're really into the business end of the season now. This was a tough one, to be fair. We made hard work of this. St Margaret's were bottom of the league at the time. And you're sort of going there thinking we should win this quite comprehensively. We went 2-0 up, thinking, okay, this can be a good game, this. And then we let them back in it and ended up really tight. Yeah. Really tight.
They got that penalty and then at 2-1, and then
that's
of course, the bottom of the league as well, like you say.
Yeah. Yeah, they were good this game. Really good. They didn't look like a team that were bottom of the league. And probably, in truth, probably unlucky not to get a point out of it. But, again, we ground it out. And then we arrived at this game on the 9th of March, where, because Harlow didn't play, a win
of course,
would take for the first time. For the first time all season.
And another clean sheet as well away.
Yeah.
Racking up those clean sheet. Great header as well, that was.
Yeah, fantastic header. A great finish from Russell there. Pops up with so many of them outside the box.
He does. Let's have a look. Hey.
And there we are.
Yeah, there it is. Top of the league. Overtook Harlow. Despite the budget. As you say, it's no budget whatsoever, isn't it, this club? I think that's the most impressive thing about it. That we've heard on numerous radio shows that you've been present on, Dan. I I'm surprised you actually fitted us in your busy schedule for this video. So I do appreciate you making the time.
No, you're right. It is one of the things I think that is sort of so interesting perhaps about our season, really, in that we have such a brilliant bunch of boys, all of them. You could literally work through the entire team and spend sort of 10-15 minutes talking about each player. Top quality players, great mentality, nice, really, really, really nice bunch. This is Kelson McFarlane, our under-16 lad, who comes in and scores the 5th.
Yeah.
Just absolutely.
Against the St Margaret's breed that we struggled with, just 2 games before or whatever. Again, just showing that relentlessness, really, from Benfleet.
Yeah, and the consistency, I would say, that just the consistency to grind out results and then put in outstanding performances. Yeah,
and because we had that many games in hand, I think this was the time of the year where we were playing 2 games every 3
It was relentless. It was absolutely relentless. Yeah, it was literally 2 games a week for pretty much more or less 3 months straight, probably taking a couple of match days out of there. And it was literally, I think, for 7 or 8 weeks straight towards the end of the season. It was 2 games a week, which is hard work, because these boys are obviously working during the day. Some of them sort of doing hard graft jobs, and then sort of turning up on, I don't know, a Tuesday or Wednesday evening, getting home at midnight and getting up for work the next day, and then doing the same thing again next week, playing at the weekends.
It's crazy, isn't it? And then every little injury they get, that's how many days off work. If they're self-employed, they're not getting paid. Non-league is just, it's a mad way of life for the actual player. But you genuinely do it for the love of fun, don't you? I mean, that's why we just love non-league.
You do. And what a goal this is! So not what a goal, but just in terms of the
95th minute, wasn't it? That's why
absolutely incredible. Yeah. I remember sitting there on the sidelines thinking, are we going to blow this? Because you're watching us, and we were struggling this game.
Wormley kept winning, didn't they?
They just kept on winning. They didn't stop for breath. And this could have been the game where we dropped some points. But 95th minute, like I say, it can't be a coincidence when you do it game after game.
Yeah. And I mean, even this game, despite it being a dubious penalty in the end, really, to win it 1-0, just grinding out them results, wasn't it? It was relentless in this game.
It was. And coming back to what we were saying a minute ago, there we go, top of the league, end of March, love it. Coming back to what we were saying a minute ago, I'll give you an example, right, of how good the group are. To your point about sort of getting injured, struggling at work, that happened to Toby, our young lad, who got himself injured, had some time off. What a great penalty that is. Time off. Because he couldn't work, because he's self-employed. So the boys clubbed together to all donate some money to cover the money that he'd lost.
That's amazing. Little go fund me.
Yeah, just sort of speaks to the spirit and
that's absolutely brilliant. Because it was a great free kick, but it's a side of non-league that never gets seen, is it? As I say, you're backing up all these games. An injury literally cost people money, family. Yeah. These people have got kids. I know Toby's a kid himself, but what I mean.
No, it is true. It is true, and I think we shouldn't take it for granted either. In the sense that I think there probably aren't many clubs that are. I mean, we see it when we go away. For example, you'll see the opposition, and they'll stop in the bar after the game. They might only stop for 10 minutes. They'll pick up their money. They'll go. Our boys, they'll stay for a drink. They might stay for hours, to be fair, because they're all friends, and that's the bunch we've got.
It just helps. And I can't believe we've got to April in this video without even mentioning what a great season Declan Rice Fat has had as well. It's outrageous.
It just another one of the heroes, really, of the season. Another one that I would say, what a nice guy, what a talented footballer, really? What a great contributor. And
he knows where the goal is. He's just such a good striker.
He is.
Exactly what you want. He's got great pace as well. Can finish.
He is.
On all angles. And this was another great win, wasn't it? 4-1 Brimsdown.
But that wasn't the result that mattered, because Parkview managed to get 3 points out of Wormley in a very unexpected sort of turn of events this game. And so this actually ended up becoming sort of the most significant game of the season in some way.
Did we? This was the first time we had kind of live on the channel that we had the latest goals coming in from work, wasn't it? Yeah, because like you said, it was all 3 points, wasn't it? So it wasn't a draw; they actually lost.
That's right,
and it opened up that gap, and we had that game in hand. There's 6 points as well. This is when we really started believing, because it was always that, hey, just keep going.
That's it.
Just keep one eye on Wormley. And then we followed it up with this 3-0 win. It's Parkview, another tough team to play against, really.
And because Wormley dropped points, that meant that we needed 4 points for the league. So obviously, to get a good 3-0 win against Parkview, funnily enough, the Parkview that had 3 days earlier gone and beat Wormley.
To be fair, though, they give us a hard 80 minutes.
They did. They did. Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily see it just from looking at the score and the goals. But yeah, this game was 0-0 to 80 minutes. Yeah. They really, really pushed us hard for this. What the goalkeeper's doing there, I've got no idea. But yeah, they really, really did push us hard for this. But yeah, as we've said throughout the video, consistency, sticking with it, the discipline, the spirit that got us another 3 points, got us to this game against Brimsdown, ironically at Wormley.
Of course, yeah.
Where we just needed a goal, well, a win. Not even a win, to be fair. Just needed a point for the title.
And who else? But,
and we managed to get all 3, thanks to Reece Fat.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about, but yeah, thanks to Declan Rice Fat. But yeah, what a finish again! He's just knows where the goal is every single time, and another away win, like you say, at Wormley as well. Was it a ground share? That's why, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. So they hired Wormley's ground the same way we did Canby,
and that was it. The final whistle. We're crowned champions.
That's it, mate.
Absolute scenes.
Scenes.
What a season, man! It's been such a good season. And then we roll on next year. We've got at the new stadium. Oh, here it is, of course. There's dressing room celebrations. Confirmation of that is a table. Wormley could not catch us, obviously, at that point. So that's when we were crowned the champions.
Amazing.
And followed up by a loss.
Yeah, weird game this was, actually. Harlow seemed really, really up for it. I think we had a few players missing. Obviously, probably a bit hungover from sort of celebrating the league.
It's not normally said in such a literal sense, but when it's non-league, they're literally hungover.
That's it.
They're still going. They've been going for 5 days straight,
That's it. And here's that man again, Reece Fat.
Here he is. This was our biggest ever crowd as well, was it not? Our final game. I get this is the second game that I turned up to.
It was. To do your interviews post match.
I did indeed, on their very, very windy microphones. But yeah, it was a great end to the season, and as I say, there was a lot of people there. Almost a send off as well, wasn't it? Because this is the last time we're going to play at this shared ground that we have with Canvey.
Yeah. It was just what a season! Absolutely unbelievable. There it is.
3 points as well, and it's been a great season. I think we'll watch us lift the trophy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you reckon as you get up the leagues, the sign gets bigger at the start?
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Absolutely crushed by the players. But yeah, new stadium. And also, Dan, you looking forward to FA Cup football?
Can't wait. I think at the time of recording this, we've got our ground grading on Monday, and we are waiting for the FA Cup draw and very much hoping for a home tie.
Yeah, that would be absolutely amazing. Imagine just pulling off a sort of cheeky little first rounder or something like that. That would be
just to be in it. To be honest, for a club like ours, just to even be in the mix every season, it's incredible.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it. So great season, and thanks for joining me today, day, Dan. I'm pretty sure you've got next season stacked out with podcasts and newspaper reports and God knows what you're doing for the club. So yeah, we'll have Jamie in next year. But I'll see you soon.
You will, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, mate.